I am not going to become a gear review channel. I am not going to become a gear review channel. I will not do gear reviews on my channel. I will not do gear reviews on my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, artists and creatives, welcome to Tribal Sounds. My name is Forrest, and today I will be your guide in reviewing the Townsend Lab Sphere L22 microphone. What is a Townsend Lab Sphere? In short, it is a large diaphragm condenser microphone. It is unique in the fact that it does have dual capsules, so on both the front and back elements you have basically independent outputs. They are independent, but they will work in unison if you have a stereo-linked pair of channels for your audio interface. So why is it important to have a front and a rear capsule? Every microphone that you use has its own sonic fingerprint, its own identity within how it is going to respond to a room or how it's going to respond to a vocalist. The Townsend Lab Sphere will allow you to take that sonic footprint and superimpose both the response for the front side and the rear side, making it as accurate of a representation as you can. The things that it's going to be looking for and the things that it's going to adjust are going to be your spatial nuances, so how it responds to the source in the room. In addition to that, you're going to be getting its off-axis response, so how the source responds based on the location of the capsule to the source. Another thing that it's going to look at is going to be your proximity effect, so how it responds to a source in closing distance or opening the distance up. It is quite an impressive piece of technology. You can also do this non-destructively, meaning that you can audition multiple microphones in your audio workstation real time, find one that you like, and if the mix doesn't sound right with the source later, you can adjust the microphone type and signature microphone that you are using post. So before we get on to the audio examples, I'd like for you all to do me a favor, and below in the comments section, let me know what microphone that you use the most and why it's your favorite. So for the first example, I'm going to set up the Sphere for vocals. Let's go ahead and get the microphone set up, and then I'll run it through a preamp with no EQ, just getting the volumes right. So I'll be registering at around -9 decibels. So we'll start with vocals. We'll go into some acoustic guitar, and just maybe I'll even throw it on my electric amp, that way you can hear it with electric guitar. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my screen up so you can see it as well. I'm going to just pull up the plugins that we utilize with the Sphere. On the right hand side, you'll actually see the analog 5 and 6. They are linked now, stereo linked inputs. That is from each of the outputs of the Townsend Lab. So 5 being the front and 6 being the back respectively. And then we're feeding it through the Neve 1073. There are no EQ moves happening here. I kept all of the settings as close to stock as possible, but I did get a higher recording volume as to just have good quality for you. My microphone model is going to be the LD87 Vintage. I'll let you guess which microphone that is. So that's what you're hearing me through now. So we'll just do a couple of different voice tests. I do have this set up in cardioid right now, but we can actually change that real time as well. So if I go to the left, you've got subcard, which would give you a little bit of a broader range out here. So it's going to pick up more of this area around the head. If we go one step further, we got a wide card. So now you should be able to hear the snaps at an extreme distance, closer to 180 degrees from the outside microphone here. Next setting would be sub-omni, and this is going to pick up behind the mic as well as in front of the mic. So this is a great one if you have a singer and you have maybe a source. Like if you wanted to pick up piano from a singer's perspective, you could actually utilize this setting, set the microphone in front of them, and then the back of the mic is going to pick up the body of the piano, especially if it's like an upright or something like that. It's a great option to play around with. And now we've got our omni pattern. So if we had two vocalists who wanted to sing and be more in tune with each other or in the moment with each other, you could actually set them up on either side of the mic, and you would get as much response from this side as you do on this side. And now on the opposite, we have super cardioid, which is going to be a very minimal amount of the back circuit, mostly focused, hyper focused right here on me. If I go to the outside of the microphone, you will hear it start to dissipate as I go around, and then it comes back in full circle. So that is supercardioid. Then we got hypercardioid, which will give it a little bit more. Mostly you're hearing still the front of the mic, 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 front of the mic. And then we got sub 8. So this is a sub figure 8 pattern. Another great one for picking up multiple sources. And finally we have our figure 8 pattern. Figure 8 pattern, as you can tell on the display here, it's going to be picking up the front and the back as well. It just goes a little bit deeper in the back. It looks just like an 8, hence the name. So this is the settings for a spoken verse on the Townsend Lab Sphere plugin. Okay, this is the same test with a new microphone model. We switched out to the LD67, which is my personal favorite of the emulations found in the Townsend Lab Sphere plugin. This is spoken verse, same thing. We don't have any EQ bumps or dips anywhere. We're running straight neutral through the Neve 1073 preamp. We are sitting at 50 on the input gain, and our output gain it's sitting about 3 o'clock. The output on the microphone has been adjusted to give us the right recording quality that we have. Going to be doing the vocal test now, be able to switch over to the Rode mic, and you should hear that now. And we're going to come back over to the Townsend, Labs 67. This is the 67 on vocals spoken. Let's hop into a singing example. Right now I'm not peaking anything, but my vocals are a little bit louder, so I'm going to sit back a little bit in this. So I've got about 2 feet of space between me and the microphone diaphragm. I'm going to go ahead and do the same vocal test. That way you can hear what it sounds like whenever you are singing. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about them good old ways, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mother, let's go down, come on down. Oh, mother, let's go down in the river to pray. And now we are going to our next test, which will be for guitar audio. For this example, I'm going to still be utilizing the LD67 model. I think that it gives a good natural coloring to the instruments as well as vocals. In particular, I do really enjoy this most on acoustic guitars. Okay, for this example, I've got my Townsend Labs set up to the LD67. I'm going to show you 2 different microphone placements. First, we're going to capture about, I'll say, a foot away from the body of the guitar. We're going to be aiming mostly towards the back side of the bridge here. It'll give you more of a thick tone, but this is what it'll sound like finger pick. We're going to use the same example for each mic placement as well as performance. The chord progression here, just in case you want to know, we're going to go with a G and we're going to go to a C. We might even hit an E minor, an F sharp over D, and then back to G. Now we're going to change microphone positioning just by turning our bodies, and we're going to keep the mic at the same distance, but we're going to aim towards the 12th fret of the guitar in this scenario, and it should give it a little bit of a different feel. Comment below, let me know which one is your favorite. Now for this example, we're going to go back to our original bridge positioning. So we're pointing the microphone just behind the bridge of the acoustic guitar. I'm playing with a medium gauge pick, specifically a .73 millimeter from Dunlop. Same guitar, same chord example. Once again, position our guitar about a foot away from the 12th fret. For this last example, I've got the LD47 pulled up as the microphone of choice. We're still going through the Neve. I did back off the input gain back to 30. That was on the input gain stage. And then on the output gain stage, I backed it back to 12 o'clock from 3. And then the LD47, I have it sitting at noon because this guitar amplifier is a little bit hot. So our setup here is a Fender Deluxe. I do have it jumped from custom channel 2 to vintage 2, coming into custom 1. So I'm at 7 volume, 6.5 treble, 5.5 bass on the custom side. And my vintage side is set to 6 volume, 6 treble, 6.5 bass, reverb's at a 3, and that's the only parts that matter for this example. I am going through a 2 notes torpedo reload attenuator, and we should be able to hear how this guy captures it. I will recommend one thing while I'm going through this. If you've made it through this long, I would recommend getting a flashlight and then pushing it to the grill cloth whenever you're setting up your microphones, because it'll allow you to be more precise with the placement. That way you can kind of pinpoint where your favorite zones are for the mic. But yeah, let's hop in. I want to show you guys what this sounds like. Hope you enjoy it. If this was your first time tuning into Tribal Sounds, thank you very much for being here. Today we looked at the Townsend Labs L22. I got you a couple of different audio examples. Hopefully those will help you make a more informed decision. But if you did find any of this informative, please do me a favor and like and share the video. If you're into all things creative and you want to improve in music production and engineering, or in songwriting, or on the guitar or piano, music theory, any of those things, if it's something that you're interested in growing as and along with me, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that way you can be the first to know whenever we drop a new video. Thank you so much for sticking around this entire time. If you are still here, shout outs and hit me up in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video about what you want to see next. My name is Forrest. This is Tribal Sounds. Thank you. Until next time, peace.